Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today, we're back with children's author and communications specialist, Leslie Assini. Hey, Leslie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Sure, sure. And we are really excited today because we're going to discuss children's book writing with you. So, Leslie, how did you determine the age demographic range for your children's books?
So that's kind of dependent on several things. The first is obviously the word count. So if your book is, 1,000 words and under, with like the sweet spot being kind of 500 to 700 words, and that's usually best for kids ages 4 to 7. So this is kind of the best for their attention spans and their levels of understanding at that age. So you just have to keep that in mind. You also really have to think about the theme when determining the age demographic. So for kids, is the theme that's something too complicated, too mature? Would it be totally over their heads? Or is it something that maybe someone in their age group would typically deal with on the playground or in the classroom with their siblings on the soccer field? The theme is really important for them as well.
I can imagine. And in regard to the pictures, where did you find your illustrator?
I actually found my illustrator on Fiverr. And so that's a great resource. The illustrators come from all over the world. So my illustrator, Andy, is from Indonesia. So we basically just talked online throughout the entire process, and it worked really well.
And what did the typical process look like working with him? How did you choose him?
It's definitely overwhelming trying to find an illustrator. There's so many things to keep in mind. But basically, it just came down to he was the right fit. I sent him parts of my story, and so you kind of asked him, how would you draw a fish like this, or how would you draw the snail like this? And they give you a sample, and you kind of just figure out if that's what the style that you want. So once you pick that, then you have to go through the whole process of um, sending them the story, and they start with sketching at first, and then they color it in, and there's a lot of edits through all that. So it's a long process, and it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of work, but the end result is great.
So they typically decide which scenes they want to illustrate and they let you know and then you approve that and then they go ahead and illustrate them? Or did you have scenes in mind from the book that you wanted them to illustrate?
Yes. No, that's up to the author in this case. I would send him, the manuscript with what I would want illustrated on that particular page. So I'd say in this scene, I'd like to show the fish in the pet store with this in the background. So you kind of have to make little notes alongside your manuscript of what you want to see in the illustration. And that evolves over time. Definitely they have their ideas for what would look best as well. So like I said, it's a lot of back and forth and compromise. And
Right. A great collaborative effort. Yeah. And one more question. When you went on Fiverr, do they have a category that you could search for illustrators for children's books, or how did the searching process work?
yes, they have very specific categories. I mean, you can even look in, what countries you want to specify the country that you would like your illustrator to be from,
Wow.
languages. Yes. And so what type of illustrator you would like, children's illustrator, it can even get down to what kind of paint you want them to use, or yeah, you could definitely specify it. So
And I want to close with, how has providing writing services helped you with your own writing and professional career as a whole?
this has helped me because it really gives me practice in really honing and clarifying the message that you want to give. So I'm constantly asking myself, what am I trying to say here? How am I going to say this? So it really helps you kind of simplify and clarify your writing, so it's not so wordy. So I find even, writing children's books and writing more professional things, it really crosses over because it all comes down to sort of, telling the story and getting your message out and making something compelling that people are interested in and care about.
Well, Leslie, thank you so much. That was wonderful insight on children's book writing.
Thank you for having me.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's interview with children's author and communication specialist, Leslie Mitchell Assini. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.